That's pretty. Okay. What we're doing today is going to make a holder for this Watusi horn because I'm going to turn it into a hand rattle, the whole thing into a rattle. So I've got to make a holder for it. I want to make a holder for it out of the soft leather, and I'm going to crochet it out of soft leather so that I can then seal it and close up the top, fix this little spot, do some leather binding, decorate it with all my feathers and frou-frous, put the gemstones in it so it rattles, maybe put some bone dangles and other dangles on it. But the big thing is going to be creating a holder, kind of like a quiver for your Watusi bullhorn rattle. This sucker's big, y'all. It's big. It's very big. I saw this at a Amish thrift shop, and I was like, I gotta have that. I gotta have that. I got it. So I'm gonna start out with really soft leather, and we're gonna try and see if what's in my head will happen. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We just have to wait and see. It's been a long week. It's been a long day. A lot of rain today, and I didn't want to end the day without having done something I enjoyed because I feel like I've run all week. So I'm up here for the weekend now. Ooh, static electricity. And I need to get a couple things done. And then next week, Luna will be going with me to the farm. So no more running to keep Luna not thinking I've left her. The what? The real Kermit fan? Is that what that says? The real Kermit fan? Is that what it says? Okay, hello, the real Kermit fan. So the first thing we're going to do is create a slip knot out of this leather. It's oh so strange. When it's not string that I'm working with is this. But now I have effectively crocheted stuff before. So what we're going to do again, if you just join in, I've got this huge Watusi Longhorn Cross horn. It is holler. I'm going to turn it into a rattle. But I need, the first thing to do is to create some kind of holder. Like if you were to think about a quiver for arrows, I need something like a holder with a shoulder strap that can hold this so that whoever's going to the powwow or whoever's need to pack this around, they have something to, easily pack it while they're not using it in their dancing or their ceremonies. So we're going to try to make that out of this very soft leather. And we'll see if I can crochet this without breaking it. I don't know if it will work. So might want to pray a little bit right now. So okay, I'm just going to start with a granny chain and see how pliable this is. I have actually crocheted pocketbook handles before, so we'll see how we can go. 5, 6. I have on this summer top and it feels like a flouncy balloon, but that's okay. It's cool, so I'm not going to fuss about it. Hello, Sherry. So first things first, trying to crochet a handle for this thing because everything else kind of hinges off the handle as far as the decor, the decorations, how they're going to go together. all that good stuff. And then I think something I'm going to make in the next few weeks also is a dream catcher with two pheasant feet on it. It's something I've got the materials. That's something I've been thinking awful hard on for a little bit. Okay, that should hold and be nice and tight by the time I start going, and it shrinks up a little bit. So since we want to work this in the round, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch the end. And then we're just going to start crocheting with leather. It's a little difficult, but you know, it can be done. It can be done. And if I get to going on this and I don't like the way it starts to turn out, and I'm just going to do single crochets, no half doubles or trebles, absolutely not, just single crochets. If it starts going and I decide I don't like the way it's turning out, then what we will do is maybe go back and mix it with a small fiber of some kind to see if it softens the look of it. Oh no, it might not. Trying to keep it. No, I've got a castor oil mask on my hair, so I didn't want it to look horrible. So I put my hat on. Castor oil is great for your hair. I'm trying to have a evening of self-care because I've had such a wild running week. I don't know if any of you watched me crochet the handle for that pocketbook that one time. Kind of a event, but it looked really good. It looked really good. So we get a couple rounds of this started, then I'll show you kind of what I'm going for, and we'll see if it's going to work. The good thing is this leather will give a little bit, and then I can put some leather concrete on it, and that's where it will not give anymore. And so when we slide it on and off of the Watusi horn here, it will hold its shape and be very, very firm. It will not let the rattle slip. Oh, boogers. There we go. Creativity. Sometimes it gets you into things you wish you hadn't thought of. Every once in a while. Hey, Ashley. How you feeling, Ashley?
One expert, one thing in this Washington Post article, they talk about how previous Israeli strikes on Iran targeted Iranian military sites and hardware, many of them far from major cities. But
if you're a beginner at crochet, I would not say, hey, grab hold of somewhat soft leather and do this. No, it's confusing. But like if you've done a few things, it's not that terribly confusing. I'm crocheting out of leather a slip holder. I will slip up on this and hold it, and then I'll add straps to it. So this is going to be a ceremonial rattle. It's a Watusi longhorn cross horn. Yeah, it's a longhorn cattle crossed with a Watusi cow. And this is the horn. It sounds funny when you say it the other way. But I'm going to make a little like quiver cover with a strap so that whoever's packing it around for ceremonies or powwows doesn't have to always have it in their hand. They can just put it over their shoulder, but we still want it to be in the feel
Sunrise in
of the
Tehran is
native,
4:48 a.m. So it's already,
vibe.
sun is already
So that's what we're doing.
It's now 4:51
If you hear anybody snoring, it would be Luna. This is going to turn into the Luna show and the Luna snoring show. Pretty sure.
Tel Aviv is 5:34. So.
She'll turn me on the fan. I have one over here. Okay, so I've got my first round initially done. The first round always looks like crap. But in essence, they'll slide it on. That about right there is where I want it to go. So when I get the rest of it done, I may go a little more. I'm going to then soak it in leather concrete, which will harden the leather and not allow it to stretch anymore so that it will hold this. And of course, as it tapers down and I decrease the crochet, it won't let it slide on up anyway, but I just want to make it a little bit more sturdy. Because, I mean, it's cool to have rattles made out of stuff like this, but how are you going to pack it all day? I think about things like that. It's like, I don't want to pack it all day. And if I don't want to pack it all day, I'm sure somebody else don't want to pack it all day, but it's cool, so I know they want it. But I don't want to pack it either, so we're going to figure out how to tote it. So now the second round. Oh gosh. Why do I do this to myself? The curiosity of mixed media crafting. You never know what I'm going to get into. But we'll do a few rows and then we'll start looking at feathers and decor and what we're going to add to it. Now, if you like stuff that I make, my husband pretty much buys all this stuff, and it's kind of like an ongoing, see what you can do with this, see what you can do with that. Several years ago, they were either going to put me in therapy for my hands because of I've got like 3 things of arthritis, and I didn't want to pay somebody money to basically tell me I need to do more with my hands. So I just picked up my crafting, started doing a lot more crafting. To the point where he knew that I was doing that basically to stay sane in the winter, but also to keep my hands healthy. So he would buy whatever I was working on at the time. And to be nice and pay him back, if I make something that's outstandingly pretty, I'll say, here, you can have it. And he sells it in his shop. So if you ever see something that you think, oh, I'd like to look at that and see if they put it in the shop, then you can go to David's Etsy. It's etsy.com/shop/Hillbilly Heart Decor. And I think he said one of my purses sold today, so we're down a purse, but I've got others that I'm working on that will be there soon. I know that he just bartered for a cow's hide, and it's not a cow, it's actually a type of deer. It's a little southwestern deer that's like from Mexico. It looks like a muley except for without the drastically black points. It's a creamy, salty pepper, maybe 100-pound deer that's a scruffy little thing that lives in the desert, has its own Boone and Crockett and everything. And people pay like $5,000 to hunt them. And, when people default on taxidermy or tanning orders or stuff, people can pick them up real cheap. And so it's really neat to always, be able to find a barter for something that you've never seen or never handled or didn't know existed, So we find all these different types of deer all the time. And we knew a lot of them because we have deer farms around here, and my brother had a hunting lodge, and so you just kind of you go to exotic sales and all this stuff is out there. But I had never seen one of these hides, so it was really neat. It's actually right above me up here. Is that salt and peppery looking thing up there? It's really pretty. So I think he's already done photos of that one to put it on. But yeah, people pay like $5,000 to hunt these little scruffy things because they are elusive and wily. And I guess the hunter had to hunt and maybe something happened, I don't know, but defaulted on the taxidermy and the tanning And
Sean's news says, I wondered if Iran is
so when you have the ability and the
leader.
Luna snoring, when you have the ability, you just step right in and take advantage of the situation, sadly. And so we now have it's a cow. It looks like it should be said coos, Coues, but it's a cow's deer hide. And it's a really pretty salt, pepper, silver. It's really neat.
But what's interesting is that you don't know when things are going to happen.
Oh, we're all there. Don't you worry about that. Never feel obligated. The best thing you can do is just tell other people about his shop. Sneak it into other videos of people that are doing crafts and be like, you can buy some neat stuff here. Renaissance people really like the stuff that he puts in his shop. So I even crocheted a mushroom circle bag for like people could take to a Renaissance fair. They could trinket trade and stuff. And I thought that would be really neat. So I think it's still on his Etsy. I just thought that would be really cool for somebody that needed a bag to trinket trade. And I put a foam bottom, a foam hard bottom in it so it would keep its shape. And I did a half double with a really bulky yarn so that nothing's going to come out of it. So you're not going to lose anything. Oh, thank you, Ashley. There's the link to Dave's Etsy shop. Lots of neat stuff. So if I do jewelry and stuff like that, and I think there's still some of my buffalo tooth necklaces on there and stuff, but I do a lot of crafting. I can't keep everything, and I gift a lot, but some of the stuff I'm gifting I have up here, stuck up here right now, but it's only fair as much as he keeps my craft addiction going that I say, okay, here, recoup some of your losses. Because I craft a lot, y'all. I really do.
So this is from earlier.
All you do, you need somebody to make you a like if you were to crochet a sheath for like this and then like very delicately and intricately do it a gray, bronzy gray with some shadows, it would look like chainmail holder for a sword. That's a thought for you. That's a thought for you. Anybody else hear my dog snoring? My dog's snoring. My dog's snoring. Yeah, it stormed off and on all day. It seemed like everywhere I went, it was storming. And I was just like, is it following me or is it everywhere? And then I finally got to look at the radar and it was just everywhere. Because I was like, am I this unlucky? It was just everywhere. My dad started off his day at the heart doctor. So it took him until he was 60 something to realize that one of his flaps wasn't working right. But it does. If you've seen my dad, it doesn't slow him down. So he's still going. And after all this rain goes through, where it's been raining and stuff, there's been really no reason to share anything. It's just been rain. But next week I think it's supposed to be prettier, and so next week we'll do some. We'll see how the flowers have grown, Mom's flower bed. We'll check that out. We'll go back to the garden. And I know that they're about ready to start harvesting beans. And corn should be coming in the next couple weeks. So we can do it. And I'm excited to see because I'm going to be taking Luna with me to see how she does down there now. So, but I thought, while I'm up here and I have this weekend, I need to get some stuff done. Laundry, pack. I have to get my thyroid refills done while I'm up here. And just got some stuff I have to do where I've been busy this week. So busy. So busy. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, Etsy's not like the easiest search place I have found. You almost have to have the store link. But anytime you know the the people's name of their store, you can just do the etsy.com/shop/ the name of the shop. So it'd be etsy.com/shop/ Hillbilly Heart Decor. All one word. And I think when we do this, I will either have to block this. If you know what blocking means, steam it, hold it down, make it bend and hold corners to where I want them held, or I'm going to have to leave it on here and steam it and let it dry on the bullhorn so it takes the shape. So that's my own, well, I don't, I've never done one of these, but that's my only really big question of, will this work? I never know if anything I do is going to work. And since I saw Dad this week, but I'm going to be sitting still this week, and I went ahead and gave him his cow koozie coffee mug thing I made for him. And he got a big kick out of it. Thought it was hilarious. I even put an ear tag in the cow's ear. He got a good laugh out of it. He took his card too. I'm sure when he opens it, he'll have a laugh. So it's been such a busy week, and health appointments and my health and the weather, and it's just been a busy week. And then, went and fell in love with a little rescue dog, so that just kind of threw that right in the spokes, and everything else just kind of, it just happens. It just happens. I hope she behaves next week. She's done really well here, except for when you have to leave her. She gets really, 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 really just distraught. So we're going to have to start doing that in small increments. And so if you leave her, I just put a puppy pad under her kennel, and I just know I'll probably have to come home and clean up a mess. She just gets distraught. I know it will improve, and I know it's because she likes where she is now. She's afraid everybody's going to leave. But as she gets more secure, I think it'll get better. It's gotten better since we've had her, but I want her to be able to go with me, stay with me, and go down there and know, hey, we'll come back. This is where we go. We go here, we go there, because Oscar was a champ. You could say, you want to go Nana Paws? And he'd be like, yeah, buddy, So I want her to do the same thing. Now, she's met both my parents, she loves them. But as far as overnights and farm roaming, so that's what we're going to tackle. That's the big thing. She's got to be able to be with me down there, and I don't want to be away from her that much. She's a sweet little thing. The wireless fence has been doing wonders for her. She understands it, knows exactly what it is, and has not had any problems. Really, she wouldn't run away from me, except she gets a little bit ADD when she sees a rabbit or a kitty cat. So it's just a safety precaution so that she doesn't get away from me. And, plus I'm keeping her on a really tight leash until I get her spayed. Okay, so now we've done several lines. Now we're going to start doing decreases. And we're just going to do a normal invisible decrease like you would if you were working with actual yarn. Are those alarms where? Israel? Iran? Are those alarms in Israel or Iran? Those are alarms in Israel on the TV.
Yeah, they're just getting bombed again.
They're getting bombed again. I could have lived my whole life and been completely okay. I've never seen any of this. It's pathetic. Hi, Margaret. Okay, so now we're going to start. So I'm going to do a single crochet in leather. And then I'm going to do an invisible decrease. You gotta be careful. You gotta be forceful with the leather, but you don't want to break it. And then you want to do a single crochet. I'll do a couple single crochets and space out my decreases. Let's do 3. Now I'm going to do another decrease. I'm also interested in seeing what is going to happen tomorrow with this "we don't do kings" thing. Because, like I said, like I told you in my videos, I have kind of investigated some of the little dots in the areas around me, and they come up in cow fields or behind places at the Y12 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, where ain't nobody gonna be. Way off any kind of decent roads to bring in a crowd. It doesn't seem kosher to me. Maybe they just don't understand the lay of the land here. I don't know. But it just seems off. And I'm like, I think they're just trying to take roll and see who will actually show up, how many people will move in the area. Or it could be some kind of cipher for however, X out of however many spots are actually going to have an event. And maybe the people know how to decode that. Who knows? I pretty much think it's a bunch of crap. And did you see that Walmart actually pulled away from their little heiress lady and did a big MAGA advertisement because they were seeing what people were saying about their little heiress lady funding all this anti-American rhetoric, and they were like, oh crap. And I was like, yeah, Walmart. Sam Walton was not like this. He was not a glutton. He was really trying to help families and create a place where families could go and get good deals and get everything without having to wander all across town, leave their town, go to another town. And, it was just easy for families to get good deals and find everything in one place. And Sam Walton was a decent old man. And I just think that his grandkids have just kind of lost the plot. And it's kind of irritating. Just a little irritating. I'm actively looking for microphones when I'm here too, because we have a set of microphones. I've just got to find them. David used to take them on his trapping stuff. So when I'm actually here, I'm looking for those microphones so that y'all can hear me better. I know I'm normally really loud. When David's actually here, I try to be quiet so he can still hear his TV and stuff. I try.
You're fine. I'm probably asleep later.
But I am trying to find those because I have two of them. Just gotta find them.
I seen them a while back. Summer that I can't remember where it was at.
Now, he said he's seen them a while back, but he can't remember where he saw them at. So as soon as we find those, I'll clip on a microphone so you can hear me better. Although I talk fast, so you're just gonna have to learn to hang on if you come to this channel. Also, interesting if you that Jesse on Fire called into those trainings for those We Don't Do Kings things. And one of the first things that the Walton lady was telling everybody in the training is stop all the biometrics on your phones and other tech items. You don't need to be identified. Bring a mask, an umbrella, and other things to shade your identity. Huh? Well, say huh. Hi, Mary. I just thought that was strange. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Let me pull this a little bit looser. Because in theory works. In reality, it may not. Y'all know how my crafts are. In my head, they're awesome. I actually think this one's going to work really well. So I am going to take it like from up here down to here so that it's not going to slide. Up here is going to be covered with fringe hanging off because it's split up here. I'll have to plug it, put all my gems in, plug it. I'll weave leather around to kind of and strengthen that right there. And so it will be a handheld rattle. But it's just a big one. So we want people to be able to pack it. That's going to actually look pretty good. Look at that. And if I wanted to, I could change the pattern and do bigger loops right here in the middle and then go back to smaller loops. So it gives it more of a style, more of like a pattern. I can try it. I mean, I can always undo it and do it again. It's just time. Let's try that. Let's go for Let's go for some half doubles and see if that opens it up any.
The IDF says, the IDF now says, more missiles from Iran on the way. More missiles
Not
from
the
Iran.
easiest
IDF,
thing to crochet, but you know, not everything's easy.
IDF says Iran launches more.
But I thought it'd be easy to do this, and then if I wanted to, I could also crochet a spot in the shoulder strap to make it wider so that it'd be more comfortable to pack around all day. You definitely don't want to lay this down somewhere. I don't think anybody at a powwow would thieve it, but you know, you want to keep it on your person, and you definitely want to be comfortable when you're packing it around. So, and for lots of people, it will be going with their ceremonial outfit, so they will want to have it on them at all times. You know, and even if somebody wanted this for a Ren Fair, you still want it to be part of your outfit and to be able to stay on you.
Okay, now we have the Jerusalem camera. So far, the alerts are northern.
Got your vitamin D in today. We've had storms all day, storms and rain the last few days. Today was like, I thought, is it following me? I'm just terribly unlucky, but now I looked at the radar, it was just rain everywhere. And I have a castor oil mask on my hair, so that's why I've got a hat on. I didn't want to scare Ians. But yeah, if your hair is wild like mine, castor oil helps it grow, it calms it down, strengthens it. Might want to try it. Okay, so I have switched to half double crochets just to change the structure to break up the pattern to make it more interesting visually. It's still going to do the same job. It's still just going to hold this and make a carry-all for this. I also started a dragon, but I'm going to have to get somewhere and sit still. So I probably will take that back down to the farm next week, and that's probably what I'll finish down there. I've started a dragon, and my idea is I've started it for Gypsy's daughter, my bonus child. So, and it's a big dragon. A big dragon. Like, it probably won't be finished until next month. It's a big dragon. But it's fun. I like to do stuff like that. I'm going to surprise her. So nobody tell her. Shh, you're sworn to secrecy. I use castor oil on everything, but I do use a castor oil shampoo bar as well. But during the hot summer, and then I have been wearing a lot of hairspray and stuff, going on a lot of these health appointments and stuff with Mom and me, I just feel better every once in a while giving it a good old castor oil mask and saying, I'm sorry I treat you like crap, please don't break. I feel bad for what I did to my hair. Okay, that was the first round of the half doubles. It's hard to see any change right now, but we will when I put it on. In a couple more rounds, we'll see it when I put it back on the horn. Just trying not to pull hard enough to break anything, because that's my fear. I really don't want to have to try to tie on or have to start over. That doesn't sound like fun to me. Oh no. I dropped my hook. All I hear tonight are frogs. There was something the other night that came up at the farm. Mom was out with Oliver, and she said, come here. And I went out to the door, and the only thing I could figure was coyotes must have made a little rabbit kill or something and were doing their happy, happy, joy, joy dance. It sounded really eerie, though. And they ran really close that night. They normally don't get that close. And of course, it was the lead up to the full moon. You're working on strawberries. My daughter was canning something the other day. She sent me pictures. I guess to verify that she did learn stuff from me. Mom and Dad have their big strawberry thing, their tubs, but it's kind of like community property, and everybody picks them. And there's rarely any left to do any big batches of anything with, because you'll wake up and never know who's in the backyard picking strawberries. I mean, it's a close neighborhood. What can we say? Everybody in the holler comes to grab the strawberries.
I think I should get things out of the sky because it's most likely to happen with Tel Aviv.
But everybody around here has strawberry patches. So if you run out and you say, "Hey, can I grab some from your patch to finish up my run for jelly or something?" I'm telling you, we used to have a lady here, and sometimes she still pops up, Jamie. She makes the best, what I would call artisan jellies. They were lovely. Her marmalade, oh my goodness, it was just like a dessert. It was lovely. She makes the best jellies. We actually did a trade. I made her a quilt for a bunch of jellies, and I hope she enjoyed that trade because I most certainly did. That was a good trade. It was yummy. Break out the chocolate. So you're gonna dip them. I never have been big on chocolate dipped strawberries. I did a dark chocolate, sugar-free, covered banana thing to have something sweet when I stop in and here and stuff. And it's not all been ate because I don't know. Maybe it's just me where I had all that dental work done and my teeth and stuff, but I just don't enjoy crunching through chocolate. I'm not even a big candy bar person. I don't know what made me think I needed to make that recipe. Now, I've made a Greek yogurt banana pudding, faux banana pudding, and it's really good. It's really good. So since when they changed my thyroid medicine, it messed up everything. It just swelled me up, and my body just like went into a different realm. I'm trying to unswell and lose the weight that I gained when they switched that medicine. Now I'm on the regular dosage again, but it sure messed me up. So I'm trying to shave off a few pounds I gained when they screwed up my thyroid medicine dosage. We found out never to do that again. It was not pleasant. Okay, let's do a few more. Oh, that was wrong. Do a few more and then we'll slide back on and see what it's looking like now. That last video I put up, no, I didn't put it up. Mom's got the videos on her phone. Doggone it. Where we went to the Amish community and went to the shops. Doggone it. I keep meaning to get those off her phone, y'all. And health appointments and all this other stuff I've forgotten. Doggone it. But we went to their restaurant that has really boomed, and they've done a lot of building on and stuff. And they had some really awesome desserts and stuff. But I was kind of irritated because the simplicity of the store is what I remember from being a kid and a teenager. And now it's like a tourist trap, and there's just not a simplicity to the store. So the simplicity to their lifestyle in the store, which is what grabbed me and made me like it, it wasn't there when me and Mom and Darlene went the other day. I normally only ever go to the leather shop, but we did the whole round, the restaurant, the thrift shop, which the thrift shop is where I found these horns. And poor little girl didn't even know what they were. And I was like, I do. I know what they are. She's like, my brother brought them up here to sell. And I was like, well, I know what they are. Okay, let's try this now. So I had a stitch marker, but that's okay. Let's see if you can tell that the pattern changed. Oh yeah, you can tell it changed. You can tell it's getting bigger at the bottom now.
Breaking news.
Oh yeah, see? It's tight up here, it's looser down here.
But you must stay near it. Hey guys, home front command.
Okay, so I'm thinking we need to go down to like right here and then I'll do a side hook, and it will cross over to a side hook on the other side so it can be packed from either side. And then what's going to take me a couple days to do is to load the beads and then block this in resin, because I have to do it in layers and it takes me forever. And then I will leather top this, do some braiding and weaving of colors, maybe put some of that faux sinew up here to make a pattern, do some fringe, maybe some beaded fringe, maybe some antler dangles, and then I want to do some feathers and stuff off the holder itself. But one of the most important things I'm going to do is when I get it where I want it, I'm going to have to spray it down and then dry it on here, or spray it down and block it until it dries so it holds its shape better, and probably mix in leather concrete in the water so that it holds its shape and will not stretch anymore, so that it won't keep growing, so that whoever gets it, it will not eventually stretch so bad that it doesn't hold the horn anymore. So I want to do a few more rows of the half doubles, and then I will switch back to the single crochets just to add the stronger stitch at the bottom. And then y'all know that starting to fart around with the decorations and stuff is the hardest and most time-consuming part. And it'll probably take me days of looking at it, walking by it, thinking. And so as I'm back and forth and I'm up here, I'll just walk by it and try something. And when I'm not here, I'll be thinking of it and imagining what I'm going to try the next time I'm up here. I wanted to get it done rather quickly because there's going to be some powwows coming up, but I'm not going to force it because I want it to be something I like rather than something I just did really quick. So we'll see what it turns out. Thank you, Sherry. In my brain, it looks nice. And I have some of those metal things that you can, they open up and they're little rounds that you can clip on places. And I may clip them on certain spots on here and turn them so they won't scratch the horn, and then glue them so that it has some metal and some beading in this thing itself too. That's the plan. I'm not going, it might work, it might not. That's in my head, it works. But my head's a strange place. I never know what I'm going to think of. Oh, Lord. You can leave your protective spaces. So I'm not even getting up early tomorrow. I am zoning out for a while, and I'll see what happens to all these Kings things when I get up. I'm not as intrigued, I guess, as people probably think I should be. I just think a lot of things we're doing in this nation right now is really juvenile and stupid, and we need to have our heads on straight, especially not upper hind ends, and we need to be showing the rest of the world that we can be compatible with each other so that we can be compatible with them, because if anybody hadn't noticed, we're not all getting along the best right now. we might ought to be trying to put our best foot forward and not provoke some of these more hair-triggered nations. So I don't know if some of the less cerebral populations here are going to think about things in that manner, but perhaps they will. I don't know. There's a first time for everything. We can hope. Right? Get in there. Okay. These half doubles with this leather are just a little tedious, I'm not going to lie. And my fingers are getting tannins on them and turning yellow, but that's okay. It's just good leather. That's just good leather. If it were more pliable leather, dropped my hook. If it were more pliable leather, I would think of doing something like a lemon peel stitch or something, but it's not.
I'll post a link to Faye Tux's. Is that the latest one?
It's not, so I'm not pushing it. But if you had a more pliable leather, a lemon peel stitch would be really pretty. We're fixing to go back to single crochets and start to shrink it again. Okay, and if you can just see, it's tighter here, it's more netty up there. So we're going to go back to single crochets now, and we're going to do a round of single crochets, and then we're going to start to decrease again. So basically I'm just going to do a round of single crochets to basically have a good solid collar of a steady strong stitch, and then we're going to go back to decreasing to follow the shape of the horn down. I made wind spinners for Gypsy the other day. I need to get them in the mail as soon as I can, but my schedule is not conducive to mail drops. Okay, we've been around once. Start the next one. And we're gonna just do your standard invisible decrease. This is normally where I say the wordy words. Oh, I'm making a holder that I can put a shoulder strap on because I'm turning this into a big handheld rattle, so they can take it, make it rattle, and but they don't have to pack it all day. They can put it over their shoulder with a strap. So this is going to be the strap. So I'm starting with this, and then after I get this secured, I'll do some leather concrete where I'll block it to make sure it's going to keep its shape and won't keep stretching. And then we will move on to, drop my hook again. Then we will move on to resining, putting the gemstones in, resining the end till I plug it, and then doing the leather overlay with the fringe and the braiding and the dangles and all that. So right now I've gone back to single crochet, and I'm doing decrease stitches every few, so that the shape of it will follow the shape of the horn.
I don't have Bethlehem on the screen, but I can see it.
I wouldn't recommend crocheting with leather, but in a pinch, to be authentic, you kind of do what you got to do. And I could have done just like a full wrap of rawhide and put like bone buttons on it with fringe, but it would really have covered up the beauty of this gigantic Watusi bullhorn, and I didn't want to do that. So this is how my brain compensated. Let's see what we're going with now. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, so we need to do about 3 or 4 more rows at the same diameter. Oh yeah. And if you look, we started out really tight, then we did some half doubles, now we're going back to really tight. It just breaks up the pattern. If you're looking at it, it just kind of breaks up the pattern and gives you something different. So then from here, I'll put in a D-ring, and I'll put a D-ring over here so it overlaps and it can be worn from either side, but it curves this way, so this should go against your back. But you never can tell. who wants to wear it how. So we'll do a few more rows of the same size because I'd like for it to come up just a hair, and then we'll decrease it on down to about right here. And then when I add a lot of this, it'll even out the weight of the pull of it, so it will balance on the back. It's gonna be pretty neat. And then you can just put it over your back like a quiver, and you have everything at your powwow, your ceremony, or your Renaissance fair, whatever you want to use it for. I'm unique. I'm a little weird. I just thought that was the best way to kind of combat all the issues I was running into every time I thought about this thing. I do have another one too, but I think I may just want to hang on to it and make me a rattle. I never keep anything I make, and I really love these. The antler candlesticks are on Dave's Etsy. And this little gray deer back pelt is on Etsy. It's a pretty thing. It's a weird color. I had never seen one, and I worked around deer farms where they raise the exotic breeds. I had never seen one, so it was really neat to get to handle one. And I've got another purse coming from Old Vintage Stoles. Purse with a matching coin pouch. So I've got some neat stuff that I'm working on. I just have so much going. It's what I want to work on and finish today. What do I want to work on and finish today? And sometimes I have to walk away from certain things I'm working on and tackle them when my brain is doing a little bit better. Depending on what I'm going through health-wise or emotionally, I have to go, no, I'm not taking that with me. And but most of the time I just take all my crochet with me to Mom's, unless I like that fur mantle out of that coyote I've been working on. I've got to sew it with a Juki, so that's got to go with me. But lots of times I just take crochet. But I've got to get that. I've been toying with the idea of lining it, though I don't really want to, because then it wouldn't really be authentic. But then I'm like, well, these newfangled people will probably want it lined. I'm having a hard time with it. I can't make peace with it in my mind. We'll see what I come up with. But it's just one coyote pelt. The way I'm going to cut it, it's going to stretch around, and the head's going to hook into like the back hip or part of the back leg. So it's just going to be one coyote pelt that's going to be cut to make dangles in specific places to be just a wrap, a very rustic, rugged looking wrap, and obviously to be for a small male or a female. And it will be, Viking Renaissance-esque. So, and the person that got the elk is going to cut it down to the size of the bed they're going to use it for. And they said that what they cut off, they would send back to me. So I may create some elk hide earrings or dream catcher dangles or something later this year. That'd be fun. I thought that was awfully nice of them. You didn't have to do that, but I thought that's awfully nice of them. This leather's not friendly to your hands. Well, I'm glad you found a rescue. We never have any room because it's hay cutting season up here, so literally every rescue has no more room. So half the time they'll just say, hey, listen, help it without making it a pet, like we did with Gimpy Gumpy that one year. David said he's seen a doe cut through the pasture, but he's not seen a fawn. Normally they drop them off here. We call our pasture the babysitting spot. But he said, I've not seen any fawns there, but he said, I've seen the does cut through. So, but usually they will dump their babies in the barn pasture to sit while they go and or they go and eat and wander and but who knows? We went several years without seeing any, and then Gimpy Gumpy got us back into the routine of seeing them again. It used to be we had a doe that would have twins or triplets, and she would bring them and show them to us and be like, "Okay, you babysit them now. I'm gonna," and she would just leave them here. And she'd always come back for them, but she'd just leave them here. We got quite attached to her. When she didn't come back that one year, we all got real sad. We're hunters, but we're not mean. Okay, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. And because this is so much more solid and thick than this, the weight works out really well. Yeah. That's nice. That's nice. So I may put some of those round beads that I can clip on, turn them away from the horn where they won't scratch it, glue them so it's got some metal in it, and then D-ring so it can be worn either way, and it will just lay against your back. And then if you want to take it out, you can, but it fits snugly so you don't have to worry about losing it. And then by the time I get this resin plugged with the gems in it and fringed, the weight will be even more wear balanced, so it will almost be like a sword on your back, the way it will stand up. That's gonna be neat, y'all. The straps, I'm probably just gonna do about 4 passes. I'll probably do 3 passes of single crochets, and then right across the shoulder where the bulk of the weight's gonna be, I may do another pass on each side just for a wider spot to absorb the pressure. Other than that, it's just going to be making it pretty and doing a lot of the finishing work. So that's what we're doing. I broke a sweat crocheting. It was leather though, but you can see how it changed. The pattern changed. The little pattern, big pattern shows more of the horn in there, and little pattern. And that way you're not really hiding the material that's in there. They can see the horn. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. So I'll probably, when I do the top, I'll do a decorative edge up here and then a decorative edge down here. And might even do it out of a twine. Like a really thick twine, so it has like a tatted edge on it. May do picot strips around the bottom. So from here, it's got to have its strap be blocked so it stays this shape. And then we start on the rattle itself, which is going to be what takes the longest amount of time. I've got the gemstones ready to fill it, but the resining, the blocking, plugging it, and resining takes a few days because I have to go in layers. And then the leather work shouldn't be that difficult, but I'll have to have a really good hand day for me to do that. So, because it'll be finite. But it's got a weak spot here, so when I plug it and block it, and I'm going to make sure the resin holds the strength for that. It's got a brace there. And then the leather weave is going to also provide structure. So I have to be sure to put strength where it's losing its strength. I think it's going to be really neat. I've seen lots of horn rattles, but I've never seen a Watusi Longhorn Cross rattle. I just think it's going to be neat. Of course, turkey feathers and goose feathers and antler dangles and bone dangles and everything's going to go on there. Everything. So yeah, I'm kind of tickled. I'm going to leave this on here tonight and walk by it and look at it, see if it screams change me. And if it doesn't, then tomorrow I'll probably block it and start on the strap. But I really like that. I like how it went from small to large, and you can see the horn in there. I like it a lot. I'll probably do a bigger decorative up here for the strap and then a smaller one down here. Very tickled with that, y'all. That worked out better than I thought it would. And so now if you have something like this that you take, even just a stick that you take to Renaissance, now you know how to make a holder for it and a strap. And you can do your straps and finish them off and even put little buckles in them. So, you know, it doesn't have to be one piece. You can make buckles, and the buckles will go right in like a belt to any. It's basically going to fit any size at all because all of this is an opening. So there's an idea for you. I'm also, when I get done with this, I'm also going to polish the outside. And I've got some UV stuff, it's called glass, that I can put on and then flash it, and it makes it look like glass. I'm just wondering, will it be too slick to hang on to? May do a test spot under where I'm going to put leather fringe anyway, and if I like it, then I may take a large chunk of a weekend and do every part of it. I don't know if I want to commit to that, but that's what I'm thinking about. Could just do a polyacrylic and buff it, but looking for something that's going to be a little bit more sturdy. And then some people would really rather see the make of the horn itself. And this one's actually in really good condition. It's just got a couple of scratches, but it's in really good condition. So I may just buff it. I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to cut off. I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm just going to leave it tonight to look at. I'm going to look at it tomorrow while I'm here. And if I don't want to change it in 24 hours, then I'll commit and make the rest of it. When I get it decorated, I'll take pictures and share it with you. If I feel like going live and doing the rest of the decoration, I will. But I've got a lot of crap I've got to do. Next week should be a lot less running. And a lot more time for me and Luna at the farm to send y'all howdies and videos and check-ins and have more time with Mom and Dad instead of everybody running. So that's what we're looking at. So thanks for spending time with me. That's what I'm dealing with. If you have any ideas when this loads to watch again, put them in the comments, because this has kind of been, I know what I want it to look like, but you may have a vision that might top mine. So if you can think of something, throw it in the comment. It might be something I want to try to do. I know I may do a little bit of beading. I know I'm absolutely doing some bone dangles and some antler dangles and some feather dangles. But if you can think of something else, throw it in there. Give me an idea. Let me know. And everybody keep Gypsy, Ashley's in here still, I believe, but keep Gypsy and Ashley in your prayers. And my folks are doing better. I think we've gotten through all the tests. Mom's going to have a few things done, so keep Mom in your prayers. Nothing super huge. I'm calling it maintenance work. But it's been a scary couple months with all the doctor's appointments and tests and stuff. So just keep us all in your prayers and send a good energy. Be careful wherever you go this weekend. Try to be positive. The world's got enough beef going on. And sometimes you just got to sit down and laugh at things. That's kind of what I've been doing. Oh, thanks, Mary. That's kind of what I was going through. Tomorrow's going to be hectic, so I wanted to do something chill tonight, even though I have castor oil mask on my hair. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go wash the castor oil out of my hair now. And if I have time in between all the stuff I'm going to do tomorrow, I will check in. And next week should calm down to where we actually will have videos coming from the farm. We'll see how Luna does with the visiting Nana and Paws full time, staying overnight. Cross your fingers. And life should get in a more normal routine. I hope. Okay, until then, go to the Etsy shop, Hillbilly Heart Decor. Check out David's Etsy shop. He's got some really nice stuff, especially that cow's deer that's up there. If you've never looked into those deer, it's COUES. Go read about them. Yeah, they're very expensive to hunt. Like the cheapest hunt is around $4,000. They go up to $5,000 to hunt. They're little scrubby, wily coyote kind of deer. Very neat. It's the one kind of deer that we had never had in all the exotic farms around here that we've seen. Very lucky to have got to hang on to this and kind of be a caretaker for a while, but he said it is in his shop. Very neat little hide. You should never know what you're going to find when trappers start talking.
We just saw a bunch of
Not Castro, Castrol. Margaret. No, Castrol might be good too. There was a wrestler that used to drink it. Do y'all remember that? back in the what was the name of that movie? Over the Top Days, the arm wrestling movie. Oh my gosh. That took me back. Castor oil. The crud that comes out of beaver castors. I mean, I could get it directly from the source, but buddy. But yeah, I do this, and I went to castor oil shampoo bars too. So you can see it's kind of stringy hanging down. But it's hey, listen, with my thyroid, it's been a fight to keep my hair. So I'm doing a lot of weird stuff to make it bounce back. I think it's trying. Okay. Not motor oil, castor oil. Y'all have a good weekend. And if I do anything else, I'll at least put up pictures, let you know. Check in tomorrow. If you see something this weekend, throw up a comment somewhere on one of the posts or the videos and let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods. Let's stay informed and be positive and keep your eyes up, your butt down. And we're going to get through this, y'all. That's exactly what it sounded like, Margaret. I don't blame you. All right. Night, everybody. Bye.